Hi, you all just finished a U-Try where I asked you a lot of questions about the same line. We've got a line that is containing the points 3, -7 and 5, -1. And essentially just asked you guys step by step all the way through it. I want you guys to find the slope and want to see what you got there. The equation of a line in point slope form, and then slope-intercept form, and then standard form. So all of the steps there. So let's start with the slope. So the slope, if you remember, is change in y over change in x. So I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. My y coordinates are -7 and -1. So how about we do -1 minus -7. We're just doing one of the y coordinates minus the other y coordinate. Since I started with the second point, I will start with the second point on the x's. So I'll do 5 minus 3 for the x coordinate. So here's my x's. They're 3 and 5. Since I started with the second y coordinate, or the second point for the y coordinate, I will start with the second point for the x coordinate as well, so that they match. Then it's simplifying. So -1 minus -7, that's the same thing as -1 plus 7, oops, or 7 minus 1 if you want to think of it that way, which would be 6. And the denominator, 5 minus 3 is 2. We can simplify that. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So we have a slope of 3, or 3 over 1 if you want to think of it that way. But we can just use 3 for the rest of everything, which is kind of nice. At least I didn't give you lots of messy fractions to deal with. Next step is writing an equation of the line in point slope form. So point slope form looks like y minus the y coordinate equals our slope times x minus the x coordinate. And it doesn't matter which point you use, but you just need to be consistent with it. So if you chose the first point, you would have y minus -7, or y plus 7, equals our slope, which we just found is 3, times x minus the x coordinate, so that would be x minus 3. So that would be the point slope form for if you use the first point. If you use the second point, you would have y minus the y coordinate, so y minus -1, or you could simplify that to y plus 1, equals our slope, which we found is 3, times x minus the x coordinate, so that would be 5 for that second point. Okay, so either of those is correct. All right, next up, let's get it into slope-intercept form. So we're just going to pick one. This one's on the bottom and it looks great. Let's just use that one. So y minus -1, that would be y plus 1. If I distribute the 3, I'll have 3 times x, which is 3x, minus 3 times 5, which is 15. And then to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So I'll have y equals, that will be a 3x, and -15 minus 1 would be -16. Okay, and if you used the other point, you would actually get to the same place, which is pretty exciting. You'd have a y minus a -7, so that would be y plus 7. When you distribute the 3, you'll have a 3 times x, which is 3x, minus 3 times 3, which is 9. And then when you subtract 7 from both sides, this will cancel out, and we'll have y equals, that'll still be 3x, and -9 minus 7 is also -16. So you end up in the same place regardless of which point slope form you start out with. Alright, part D is getting it into standard form. So in standard form, my x's and y's are on the same side. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract my 3x from both sides. And when you think, well, should I do y minus 3x or -3x plus y? You actually want to do -3x plus y, because in standard form, x's come first and y's come second. They basically go in alphabetical order. So we're going to do a -3x plus y, these will cancel, equals our -16. And the only thing we need to do from here is divide everything by -1, because we want the leading coefficient, that a value, we want it to be positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by -1 so that we can get there. So -3x divided by -1 is a positive 3x. Positive y divided by -1 would be a negative y. And negative 16 divided by negative 1 is a positive 16, and that is standard form. Hopefully this helps you guys.